On August 9th, 2024, on one of those afternoons where the asphalt shimmers and you can smell the heat coming off the parking lot, a man pulled his Tundra into my bay and asked me a question that has stuck with me ever since. He had owned that truck for 6 years. 6 years. And he set a folded dealership receipt on my workbench and asked if I could tell him whether he had been ripped off. They had charged him $59 to activate a convenience feature. He didn't even know what the feature was. He just knew the service writer had made it sound like an upgrade. Today I'm going to show you that exact feature, why it ships locked from the factory on purpose, and how the same key fob already sitting in your pocket right now can do something almost no Toyota owner has ever discovered. I have watched this play out more times than I can count. A driver who has owned their Toyota for years, who trusts it completely, who thinks they know it inside and out, and they have no idea that the little black fob they toss on the kitchen counter every night is hiding a function they were never told about. Not because it's broken, not because it's missing, because Toyota left it switched off and almost nobody bothered to switch it on. So I took that man's fob, I stood next to his truck, and I held down the unlock button. Not a tap, a long, deliberate press. And all 4 windows of his Tundra began to roll down at once, smooth and silent, like the truck was exhaling 6 years of trapped August heat. He just stared. He had paid $59 for that moment and never once used it, because nobody ever showed him what they had actually sold him. That right there is why this video matters. Because the most useful trick your Toyota has is also the one the fewest people on earth have ever tried. Here is the uncomfortable truth most owners never hear. On a huge number of Toyota models, the remote window function is built into the hardware, wired into the body control module, fully capable from the day the truck rolls off the line. But it arrives disabled. The fob can already talk to the windows. The windows are already listening. The only thing standing between you and that feature is a single software setting that a technician can toggle in about 30 seconds with the dealer's diagnostic software. And here's where it gets interesting. For years, plenty of dealers have treated flipping that switch as a billable customization, charging anywhere from $40 to $70 for 30 seconds of work, while quietly, on many models, that same adjustment is covered free during your early ownership window as a factory adjustment. Most owners never find out it exists, so they never ask, so they never get charged and never benefit either. The feature just sits there, dormant, for the entire life of the vehicle. I have been turning wrenches for over 2 decades. And I can tell you the gap between what a car can do and what its owner knows it can do is enormous. Modern Toyotas are not simple machines anymore. That fob is not just a remote that locks and unlocks. It is a small radio transmitter having a constant conversation with a network of computers inside your vehicle, and that conversation includes far more than most people realize. The body control module that runs your locks also runs your windows. The same circuit that flashes your hazards can drop all 4 panes of glass. The capability is baked in. The question was never whether your Toyota could do it. The question is whether anyone ever bothered to tell you. Let me show you what that fob is actually hiding, because once you understand it, you will never look at it the same way again. Start with the headline trick, the one from that Tundra. On many Toyota models from around the late 2010s onward, once the feature is enabled, you press and hold the unlock button for a few seconds and every window rolls down together. Think about what that means on a real summer day. You walk out of a store, The inside of your cabin is 140 degrees. The steering wheel is a branding iron. Instead of climbing into an oven and waiting for the air conditioning to fight a losing battle, you hold one button from 20 feet away. The windows drop, the superheated air pours out, and by the time you reach the door, the cabin is already bearable. On a lot of models, you can reverse it too, holding the lock button to bring the windows back up before you walk away, so you are never leaving glass open in a parking lot. One fob, two buttons. A feature you have been carrying around unused for years. But that is only the beginning, because the fob has a second secret that is arguably more important. And this one could save you on the worst possible day. Picture it. You're in a parking garage, it's late, you press unlock, and nothing happens. The fob is dead. The battery inside it finally gave out. Most people panic here. They start thinking tow truck, locksmith, $100, and a ruined evening. But your Toyota was engineered for this exact moment, and almost nobody knows it. First, that fob is hiding a real metal key. There is a small release on the body of the fob. You slide it, and a physical blade comes out that opens your driver's door the old-fashioned way, so you're never actually locked out. And then comes the part that genuinely surprises people. Even with a stone-dead battery, you can still start the truck. Inside that fob, separate from the battery, is a tiny transponder chip, an RFID chip, that needs no power of its own. Your push-button start has a small antenna built right into it. So you press the brake, you hold the fob directly against the start button, and you push. The vehicle reaches out, energizes that chip wirelessly through induction, reads it, recognizes it as your key, and starts the engine. No battery in the fob required at all. I have watched the relief on people's faces when I show them this in the shop. They thought a dead fob meant a dead day. It doesn't. It means hold the fob to the button and drive home. Then replace the coin battery whenever it's convenient, which on most fobs is a 2-minute job. With a single cheap battery, you can keep a spare of in your glove box. Here's a useful mental model for all of this. Think about your phone again. Your phone has dozens of settings buried in menus you've never opened. Features the manufacturer included that work perfectly, that you simply never enabled because nobody walked you through them. Your Toyota is exactly the same. The fob is a remote control for a machine far more capable than the 4 buttons suggest, and most owners are using maybe a third of what's actually there. There's even a 4th trick, and this one is for the fob itself. If you've got a spare fob, the one that lives in a drawer, its battery is quietly draining the entire time it sits there, because it never stops scanning for the car. On most Toyota smart keys, you can put that spare into sleep mode. Hold the lock button, and while holding it, press the unlock button twice. The little light flashes a few times to confirm. Now that fob has stopped broadcasting, and its battery will last dramatically longer in the drawer. Press any button, and it wakes right back up. It is the difference between a spare key that is ready when you need it and one that is mysteriously dead the day you finally reach for it. Now here is where I have to be straight with you, because I always am. Not every Toyota has every one of these functions, and the exact button sequences vary by model, year, and trim. The window feature in particular depends on whether your specific vehicle was built with the capability and whether it has been enabled. The honest way to find out is to simply try it. Stand by your car, hold the unlock button, and watch the windows. Nothing happens? Then either your model does not support it or it has not been switched on yet. And that is the moment to make a phone call. Because if your Toyota does have the hardware, enabling it is a 30-second job, and depending on how new your vehicle is, it may cost you nothing at all. Knowing it exists is what puts you in the driver's seat of that conversation, instead of nodding along to a service writer who is framing a free toggle as a premium add-on. And that's really the heart of why so few people ever use these tricks. It isn't that they are hidden in some technical sense. The window function is printed right there in the owner's manual in a section almost nobody reads, behind an asterisk that quietly notes the setting must be customized at the dealer. The dead fob start is in the manual too. It's all documented, but documentation isn't the same as being shown. The industry is built around selling you things, not teaching you what you already own. A salesman gets paid to move you up a trim level, not to spend 20 minutes walking you through the fob you're about to take home. The service department gets paid to perform work, and telling you that your truck already does something for free does not generate an invoice. So the knowledge falls through the cracks, year after year, owner after owner, until a feature that could make your summer noticeably more comfortable just sits there, switched off, for 150,000 miles. I think about that Tundra owner a lot. 6 years, 6 summers of climbing into a 140-degree cab and gritting his teeth through it with the solution already paid for and sitting in his pocket the entire time. He was not ripped off because the feature was worthless. He was ripped off because nobody ever told him it was there. And the $59 was not even the real cost. The real cost was 6 years of not knowing. So here is what I want you to do. The next time you walk up to your Toyota, before you open the door, stop for a second and hold down that unlock button. Just hold it. See what happens. If your windows drop, you have just unlocked a feature most owners go their whole lives without discovering. If they do not, now you know exactly what to ask for and exactly what it should cost. Either way, you have stopped being one of the people who owns a smarter machine than they realize. Pop the fob open and confirm there is a real metal key tucked inside. Hold it to the start button once, just so you have felt how it works before the day you actually need it. Put your spare into sleep mode so it is alive when it matters. None of this costs you anything, and all of it puts you ahead of 99% of Toyota owners on the road. Because the truth is, your Toyota has been trying to do more for you this whole time. You were just never handed the manual that mattered. If this showed you something about your own vehicle you never knew, do me a favor and hit that like button, because it genuinely helps more Toyota owners find it. Subscribe. If you want me to keep pulling back the curtain on the things dealers don't bother to explain. And I'm curious, so tell me in the comments, did your windows drop when you held that button? Did you already know about the dead fob start, or is this the first time anyone's told you? Drop it below, because the most expensive thing about owning a great vehicle isn't the repairs. It's everything it can do that nobody ever showed you. And now you know a little more than you did 5 minutes ago.